Okay, I have a new exciting trick to show you guys. This one actually came from a student, so thank you, Gian. This is a trick to help with absolute value, which a lot of people struggle with. So if you look at our second prep test here, there's an absolute value inequality, which would mean I need to break it into two, and the first time I write it exactly the same, the second time I flip the inequality and change this to negative. However, there's also a way to do this on the calculator. If we hit y equals, we're going to put it in. So alpha window 1 gives you absolute value. It's one of the ways to get it. So I'm going to have alpha y equals 3 over 4 x minus 3 inside the absolute value minus 8. And then I'm going to actually put this greater than or equal to sign by doing second math. So this is the same way we get the equal button. We do second math, enter. But I don't want equal. I want to go down here where it says greater than or equal to. So if you look, that's number 4. So I'm going to hit 4, and then I'm going to put in negative 5. So I went to y equals, and I put my inequality in using second math to get my inequality, and then I hit graph. So now what it's showing me is a line here. So I've got one here and one here. So it's more like a number line. You got to kind of think of it as a number line. So right here, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you look, this is at 8. And the line is going to the right of it, which means I want numbers bigger than 8. This one here, if you look, is at 0, and the line is going to the left, so I want less than 0. So this one's actually pretty easy to do because it just wanted you to pick the picture. So on this one, I would just match up my picture, and I can see, okay, line going to the right, line going to the left, that's D. And I would do it that way. And often, it also wants you to write the inequality, and that's the answer choices. But again, if it has a picture like this one, you've got the picture. But the way to read it is the line's going here. So my value is x is greater than or equal to 8. X is less than or equal to 0. But again, looking at this, I'm just comparing pictures. So let's try one that wasn't a picture one. So on one of our worms problem. So again, I have an absolute value inequality. If I solved it by hand, I'd write it the first time exactly the same. The second time I flip the inequality and change it to negative. So on our calculator, here's how we would do it. So absolute value, so alpha window 1, x plus 4. And then to get that less than sign, I'm going to do second math. And less than is number 5. And it's less than 2. So we hit graph. So this time it's not asking us for a graph, it's asking us for the inequality. So again, I can see that this one is in between. So I'm including the x, right? I have values. If I look here, my values are between, this is negative 2, and this is negative 6. My values are between negative 2 and negative 6. So if I look at this first answer right away, even if I just look at this part, x is greater than negative 2? No. Negative 2 is here. I don't have anything to the right of it. To the right of it is greater. This one is how we write when it's an in-between thing, right? X is in between these two numbers, which is what this line is. We're saying I'm in between negative 6 and negative 2. That's what this is saying when the x is in between negative 6 and negative 2. This one would just be one line going to the left of negative 2 forever, and that's not what's happening here. It doesn't go forever. And this one is positive 2 and positive 6, which would be over here. So again, really exciting trick because a lot of people struggle with absolute value. So as long as you can put it in and understand how to read this. Remember, you're reading this like a number line. So you're just looking at where is it. If this was a number line, I'd be at negative 2, negative 6, and I'm in between, which is actually what my number line here was when I drew it. I'm in between negative 6 and negative 2. So one last trick to help you tomorrow on your SOL.